Nebraska head coach Matt Rhule dropped some huge nuggets today in his press conference regarding the game on Friday, some availability updates, and some injuries. So in today's video, I'm going to recap everything that he said and more. So really quick, we have a lot to talk about today. But if you're excited about that Friday matchup versus Illinois, I know I am, hit that like button. And hey, if you're new to the channel or just a returning viewer, make sure to subscribe. I'm the only YouTuber here on Husker YouTube posting daily Nebraska football content. So if you're a diehard fan of this program, please subscribe. You will not regret it. But without further ado, let's get into it. Talking about Matt Rhule and some of the stuff that he said today in his press conference, because there were a lot of nuggets and there were some fireworks as well. So the first storyline that he mentioned for the second week in a row, starting right guard for Nebraska, Micah Mazzccua will be out because of coaching decisions. So once again, he was out last week, not because of an injury, but because of something that happened off the field. The coaching staff decided to pull him from that matchup. They decided to do it once again versus Illinois. Now, in the rumor on the street, he had an altercation with a member of the coaching staff at the end of the Colorado game. That's why they made this decision. And that's something to be concerned about, because that was an issue at Florida. That was an issue at Baylor with Micah. It wasn't necessarily the talent on the field. It was just figuring everything out off the field. And we know what a talent he is. He's been arguably Nebraska's best offensive lineman throughout 5 games. And Nebraska's run grade on the O-line tanked without him versus Northern Iowa. So they're really going to miss him versus Illinois, to the point where I'm a little bit concerned. And I get it, and I understand holding players to a certain degree, but at some point, Matt Rhule also needs to understand that Micah Mazzccua is a huge part of this offensive line, and you're playing a big-time opponent. You know, culture is one thing, but maybe you shouldn't rule him out on Monday, let him earn that spot back. I don't know. Again, I get it. I understand. It's a tough blow to lose a guy like Micah Mazzccua, who's such a key part of this offense. But it's interesting that Matt Rhule ruled him out on Monday. He's not really even giving him a chance. He said, hey, you're out. We'll see what you can do versus Purdue the next week. But as of right now, you will not be playing. So Micah Mazzccua out versus the Illini. That's a significant loss. Henry Letufsky instead will start at right guard. Again, still battling back from injury. He played last game. I thought he was fine. But again, he's just not 100%. At least just not yet. All right, that was the big storyline. There's a couple other big ones as well. Riley Van Poppel, standout nose tackle / the end for the Huskers in his second year, is headed for a red shirt. Now, Matt Rhule says that he will still get in 4 games. He has not played so far this season. A lot of Nebraska fans have been wondering about it. And basically, Matt Rhule alluded to the fact that they're only going to play Riley Van Poppel in big-time ball games where they absolutely need him because he's such a good talent. But he just basically, it's a testament to how good this defensive line depth is, where we don't need to play him. He's so good, we're only going to play him in 4 games, but he'll be ready to go next year. And I thought this was a very interesting quote. He said to Riley Van Poppel, you can either play 8 plays a game this year, or you can be Ty Robinson next year. That should get you fired up, because Riley Van Poppel, I believe, is the truth. I believe he's has a very, very high ceiling. And it looks like Matt Rhule is basically saying, hey, you're going to start next year. Just sit there and develop, and you will be okay. Now, they're doing the exact same thing with Malachi Coleman. I think it's a little bit of a different situation because of, again, I think the D-line's a lot more deep than the wide receiver room. Both rooms are deep. But from the way that Matt Rhule talked about it, it looks like Riley Van Poppel is going to be in line to start next year. Malachi's still probably going to have to fight to start at wide receiver next year. It's not necessarily the same situation, but both are redshirting, at least for similar reasons. Third thing that Matt Rhule mentioned, Jamari Butler is back versus Illinois. Now, he did not play versus Northern Iowa because of an injury that just popped up late in practice. Again, I think he should have played against Northern Iowa. The only reason he didn't was simply because, hey, there's no reason to risk it. We're going to beat the Panthers no matter what. So might as well just wait for the Illinois game. But Jamari's back. And honestly, I think it really showed how much we missed him versus Northern Iowa. This defensive line was still good, but just missed a little bit of explosiveness, a little bit of athleticism. So Jamari Butler, he adds a lot of that back to the group. And we're going to need a big game from him versus Illinois. He's balling out along with him and Ty Robinson. Another thing that Matt Rhule didn't mention necessarily, but I want to talk about this video. He didn't mention Blyhill. Blyhill was out versus Northern Iowa's not playing the game so far this year. It'll be very interesting whether or not he gets playing time versus Illinois, whether he gets a go. Now, if he is healthy, he will not start. It's going to be Marquise Buford. It's going to be the same starters. But Bly Hill, I mean, we heard all the hype all offseason, how good he is, how he's going to be in line and get playing time. We'll see if he starts. We'll see if he plays. We'll find that out likely Thursday, if not Wednesday. All right, guys, that is my update. Some big injury updates, some guys who are out, some guys who are in for the matchup versus Illinois on Friday. Let me know down below. What are your thoughts about Micah Mazuka being out? What are your thoughts on Jamari Butler being back, Riley Van Poppel being redshirted? Let me know in the comment section. And hey, if you made this far on the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.